Okay, Be'ezrat Hashem, Naaseh v'Natzliach. I want to welcome you to another session of our learning of Minchat Haron. As we said, this is Pessi Rosenfeld. This is her grandfather. We're learning from Aharon Rosenfeld, Harav Miyafo, as he's known. Book of questions and answers, Sharot V'Tshuvot. Be'ezrat Hashem, that this learning will be to the Hatzlacha of Penina Bat Brendel, Dov Shmuel Ben Sarah Ita, as well as Aaron, Yehuda, Miriam, Shlomi, and Ruchel, the children of Pesi Penina, and also for the Refuah Shlema of Kava Bat Yehuda Gila. This week's question is: if the Shaliach Tzibur Siman Resh Nun Zayin. It's we're moving along. I'm skipping a lot through the book because it deals with morning prayers, regular prayers. Now we're up to Shaliach Tzibur. I'm trying to cherry pick the really good questions that are interesting in order to keep this, since there's so many, in order to keep it interesting and engaging. So here's an interesting question. In Siman Resh Nun Zayin it says, She'ela. B'shaliach tzibur sheyesh lo son'im. When there's a shaliach tzibur, the person who leads the tefillah, he's hated by the congregation. V'omer b'tfilato b'kol ram, and he says in a very loud voice when he's praying, b'birkat haminin, v'kol oevai amecha ve'oevai. So in the Amidah we have a beracha that when you say it, you can some have the tradition or the custom to add a word. In other words, in the bracha of Alaminim, it says, V'chol oivecha v'chol sonecha, all your enemies and all your haters, mehera yikaretu, quickly they shall dissipate, right? So can that person, that shaliach tzibur, say v'chol oyevai, meaning my personal enemies. So it would read like this: V'chol oyevecha, v'chol oyevai, v'chol sonecha, v'chol sonai. Meaning he's personalizing it. He's going through a singular tense instead of a plural. Can he do that? Is this appropriate? Because again, his enemies and the people that are that hate him are in the crowd. They're part of the congregation that he's praying for. So can he say that in the tefillah? The answer is teshuvah. B'sheulot v'tshuvot ha'elef lecha Shlomo. It says over there, nish'al b'zeh. He was asked the same exact question. Ve'eshiv v'zeh leshono. This is his reply. Hine ra alai ha'maaseh mikama ta'ameh. This is a very bad thing from several reasons. Echad, da'asur la'askir בכל מה זה שייך ליחיד, בכל רם, מה זה שייך ליחיד, because it's prohibited to pray out loud or to announce in a loud voice what pertains to a personal prayer. רק מה שווה צורך רבים מותר, and only what is connected to the prayer of the public. That's מותר להוסיף בקול ברבים, בקול רם. So only was something that pertains to the congregation, not to the one person. Ve'od, in addition to that, over al divrei Chazal, she'amru mi kativ yitmu chataim ketiv. He says also, he's going against the words of the rabbi, that the rabbis say, we know that in the Perek Tehillim, what does it say? Itamu chotim min haaretz o chataim ketiv. We know that we want we don't say that we want the sinners to perish. We want the chata'im to perish. We never wish on people to die. That's why even on the worst enemies, what do we say? Itamu chata'im min haaretz. Let the sins dissipate. Not itamu chot'im min haaretz, the sinners. We never pray for somebody to die. So
we can change the prayer, right?
That's what he's saying. He's saying this is wrong. He should not change the prayer. He cannot make a supplication of a singular person when he's praying for the public, as well as we don't pray for people to die. We pray for Deitamu Chataim, that the sins should dissipate, not that the sinners should disappear. Vayoter kashem mikol shekem, they brought in Shulchan Aruch, that tzarich hasheliach tzibur la'aseh kina b'tfilato, that anybody who's going to go up and pray, he has to remove all jealousy out of his heart. A person who has some sort of a kpeda, there's somebody in the kahal that he's against, he doesn't like, he has an issues with, he shouldn't go up, because he's really not representing every single person in the kahal. ועוד מבואר בסעיף תקפ"א שאם מכוון שלא להוציא שונא בתפילתו, if he says, you know what, I'm praying for everybody except for the ones that I hate. The ones that I hate, I'm not praying for them. Let them pray on their own. He's not allowed to do that. Because even the ones that he likes and the ones that he's mekaven, that he has the intention to have them motzi, they too are not going to be yotzi mitfilato. So I thought it was very interesting, very, very interesting thing, that a person who has an issue with somebody in the shul, can he go up and pray for them? So I can tell you that I've been to many shuls, and you can see that there's a few people in the synagogue that don't get along, static. What are you going to do? Sometimes they get along, they don't get along, and it prolongs for a week, 2, 3, 4, right? And what happens? They go to, one of them happens to be a shaliach tzibur. So what happens? What about that guy that he's not feeling right now? What about that guy? Is he representing him? So the person has to be careful not to go up to be a shaliach tzibur. Furthermore, what about a kohen? What about a kohen that has to go up and pray and similar to a shaliach tzibur, but he has to bless all the people in the crowd? A kohen that's makpid, the rabbi has to go take him to the side and say, listen, you can't go up if you're makpid on some of the people in the room. Go make peace, go make this, or figure it out. I know that this is funny. I was once in a shul that the Chazan and the Kohen weren't talking to one another. So we had mamash that the Shaliach Tzibur and the Kohen were not there, and who knows what type of prayer was there. But it's a very sensitive situation. So at times you just hope that the rabbi in the shul is aware of it and sensitive to it and can go and put out that fire so we can have the right representation in our prayer. That's why it's so important sometimes not to have a guy with such a beautiful voice that has static with people, but a tzaddik, somebody who can deliver your tefillah the right way. He might not have the greatest voice, he might not be the one that really moves all the hearts, but you know what? He's not makpid on anyone and he's not fighting with anyone. Sometimes that's better, because at the end of the day, what are we going into the tefillah to pray for? So the shaliach tzibur can deliver our tefillah to the shamayim. If we get the wrong delivery, man, what did we do? Okay. Another edition.